You know why that resonates? Because women hate sales, they love marketing.
Really?
Yeah, so if you sell to a woman, like these are all for women, right, they're not interested. But the marketing, the story behind it and the way they articulate, that's right. And that's why it works.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not just a pretty face.
No, well, and orange.
So
we're back, baby.
We're back.
We're back. We're all professional now. We've got lights and these microphones. We're no longer doing the infotainment commercial that Paul used to do. We've gone back to where we're strong at, is just having a talk about the trade and where we're at and what's happening, where it's going, pros and cons, regrets, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It's been 30 years since I've been in the trade this year, so I can tell you what I've seen has been a lot of different things.
Do you still enjoy it?
I enjoy the selling and I enjoy the relationships. I don't enjoy the gold going up and down and silver up and down so violently, because it makes it difficult, obviously, with the high expenses of things make it difficult, but the relationships definitely make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
100%. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.
Lifelong friends.
Yeah, every 12 months after Christmas, like, can I do this for another year? Can I do it? So most of the time it's like, no. And then I speak to clients and it makes me want to do it again.
Yeah, right.
Go again. That's how it is for me. But we're back. And I can tell you what I've seen in the 30 years. When I first started, it was 1996, obviously, for 30 years. I remember the old man pulled me from school. We realised he opened up the boot of my car. I had the Skyline back then and said...
the Skyline.
Yeah, and the books were still wrapped in their wrappers. I hadn't even touched them. This was like 3/4 of the year through. I was, all right, come with me. So I went and worked with Frank, my grandfather, and that was it, really. That was it. Selling gold chain at $10 a gram and hoop earrings at $12.50 a gram.
So we saved you from being a delinquent.
Well, I'm still semi a delinquent. But, speaking of delinquency, I remember one of my teachers said that I was the top 5 worst student that he ever had.
Wow.
I know. Wow. So, do I wear it as a badge of honor? Yes.
But so 30 years?
30 years, yes.
Started in 96?
96, yes.
Right. What was it like back then?
So I remember the first product that we brought in that was revolutionary was CZ jewelry.
Yeah,
so sort of like lab jewelry now, right? But CZ jewelry.
The balls.
The earrings. Yeah, I remember Dad bought it 18 karat gold, really fine hoop earrings with CZs in, bezel set and stuff in there. And that's just sold. I remember those things. They were sold like hotcakes. We had the little balls.
Yeah.
Shout out Armin. Armin,
he
knows all about that. We sold a lot of that sort of stuff.
When he was under the staircase.
Under the staircase. And I remember going to Italy one time and Dad wasn't with me. And I walked into the supply at the jewelry fair and they were laughing at me. I was just a young kid. And I'm just going bang, 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 bang. And by the end of it, I had 3 serving us. We just sold so much of that stuff. It was just amazing. So that was the first sort of era that we saw the peak. And then I remember, a lot of people wouldn't remember this, but we had a real influx of South Africans coming into the trade. To get out of South Africa, they could bring their money through gold. So they would come.
Right.
And we had a lot of influx of South African wholesalers come in. I remember those, that would have been the 2000s, I suppose. But I remember that. And that was interesting to see what they brought in and how that all went. And then just went through, and as gold kept going up, we had the Swarovski crystal jewelry.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that's stuff, and that's sold. We did get a lot of breakages from that snake chain. Do you remember that?
Squared snake chain.
But we sold a lot of that.
Achilles heel, wasn't it?
Yeah, we sold a lot of that, and then we worked through all different things.
Do you remember 2020, year 2000? We did the jewelry fair, and we had the Collier range. Do you remember the coil?
Microfuse.
Yeah. And those bracelets that had was like laser printed on.
Yeah. That were good as well. They sold a lot as well. I remember those. They were rectangular.
Yeah.
So that was all revolutionary at that stage.
It's changed so much.
So much. And then we brought in...
Do you enjoy selling what you're selling now, or do you enjoy selling what you were selling previously? Because I know for me, I enjoy the stuff we were selling previously. It was revolutionary.
It's nice. Yeah. But I do like selling lab jewelry and diamond jewelry now. I very much love that. That's a big passion for me, selling the rings and everything, and how we've improved that part of the business has been, I enjoy that. You know, how much joy can you get from a chain and a cross? How much joy can you get from an ID bracelet? So now I enjoy that and see the range extend into that. But I'm just thinking, so as we went through the 2000s, gold continues to go up. I mean, when gold went up to 500, it was, oh my God, it's 500, right? Now look at it, it's 7,000. But I remember those days. And then as gold increased, people were jumping on. Oh, and then the Pandora came in.
Oh, yeah, but there was more than before that.
I can't remember before that.
Before that, it was more 18 karat was still big.
Yes, we were selling a lot of 18 chain.
But Pandora changed the trade because it became more
branded orientated. Yeah. Even though silver still, so that changed it. To dramatically, and then gold continued to go up. People were jumping on silver. Then people realised slowly or quickly that you can't make money from silver and pay the big rents.
Stainless steel was big too.
As well. Yeah, remember because the nomination stuff was big. So we went through all those stages, and still gold was always selling. It was always the staple of it, but people were pulling away from silver because you can't make money from. You got to sell a lot of silver, right, to make dollars.
Yeah.
And I remember...
What's been the biggest revolution for retailers? Like, if you think about this...
Well, I would suggest it'll be 3 or 4 things. So it's CZ Jewelry. CZ Jewelry was massive. Don't underestimate CZ. That was one. Branded products was another. So Pandora and all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
That was a massive change. And I think... CAD, yes, CAD design stuff. Lab jewelry is another one. And now you're seeing all the younger generation of jewelers who've all got 2 names, Seb, Sebastian, Kate and Cole, have got a lot of marketing degrees behind them. So the Kate and Cole, one of them's got a marketing degree. I think Seb Sebastian's the same. So you're seeing that develop now, and most of their products are silver gold plated and they sell off that.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a big switch.
You know why that resonates? Because women hate sales, they love marketing.
Really?
Yeah. So if you sell to a woman, like these are all for women, right? They're not interested. But the marketing, the story behind it, and the way they articulate, that's right. And that's why it works.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not just a pretty face.
No, well, and orange.
But yeah, that's why it works. But it's interesting because now that's where all it's heading.
Yeah, that's where it's at. So that's the difference that I've seen that I can remember. I'm sure there's a lot of things in between. Also, the emergence of hollow once gold continued to go up. We had the stumper, the press stock that sold very well for us. So yeah, that's where it is. And I guess has the emergence of that, and with the high prices of gold, we've had to look to other areas as to offer more, what's the word you use? What's the buzzword you use? More of a offering to the clients.
Variety?
No, value. More value to the clients.
More value, yeah.
So with our procurement now and what we're doing with that and how a lot of people are taking that up, that's really been amazing for us personally. The groups don't love it that much, but works for us. So there's all different things now, but it's definitely...
So the days of going around with Nunu and Dad...
In the scale, we used to have the scale and they drop
everything on there. They're gone.
That's gone.
Yeah, no codes. Yeah. Dad wouldn't code it.
No. Just get it, bang, gone, right? Chains are this much, heaps are this much, this and that. It's all gone. Yeah, no.
And what retailers expect from wholesalers now is very different compared to when you started.
Yeah, I mean, you got the traditional retailers that are always just price orientated, and good, if that works for them, good luck to them. But I think for us,
what are you attracting? If you're a price conscious person, what are you attracting?
Well,
price conscious retailers.
It depends on the demographics they're in. If they're in a country town with low demographics, then so be it, right? But I think with Melbourne, I think because we offer product, we've got our service, we're product service based. And then I think with the procurement as well, the imagery around that we're providing now, I think it's for us, that's where we're at. Well, a lot of wholesalers will just have a massive range and just really cheaply priced, and I'll sell that. I mean, whatever, it's each to their own. But for me, I can't be transactionally based. It's just too boring for me.
Yeah, agreed.
I just can't do it.
No, agreed.
You know, so for me, you've got to have these offerings.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where if you buy the whole range of chains from us, I will even give you a roll. You know,
Yeah. It's not only that. I mean, if these retailers have been with us for years. Yeah. Like some of us have seen us
grow up.
Yeah. And now I'm 28. I don't know how old you are. I'm still 28.
Yeah.
But, you know, so there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of, you know, I want them to succeed as much as I want to succeed because I've known them.
A long time. Yeah, a long time. And, you know, we've spoken about kids together and their kids and my kids and all the challenges we've faced. So it's interesting because at the end of the day, their success is our success and vice versa, I suppose. So we're here to...
It's a circle.
Yeah. To provide what we can provide for them. But, you know, things have changed so much in those 30 years.
Yeah.
So much.
And you've still stayed the same delinquent
I am
clown.
just the same, mate. You know, I've not changed at all. But I reckon, like, I'm going through it now in my head. I remember we used to have the heavy 18 karat gold chain.
Yeah.
Like rolls of it, you know, 20 gram chain, 30 gram. No one's touching that. That's gone.
Do you think Nono and Dad got to 30 years and thought, I'm still enjoying this? Or do you think they just did it because they just needed to make a crust?
I remember Dad, when we started with silver, the old man said the first year, from the second year, they turned over, doubled. So that's why they continue with it, selling the silver. And then obviously went into gold and stuff. But I guess at the end of the day, they had the 70s and 80s, which were booming times.
It was like COVID here.
Yeah, for us, we had those 2 years.
Yeah.
They had 10 years of it. So I reckon it worked really well for them. And, you know, good luck to whoever was in the trade still. But, you know, there's a lot of people now in the trade, not in that trade that long. I mean, we've been here, 50 years? 51 years?
No, it's actually 1970, 53 years.
53 years?
Yeah.
So I guess what I've found too in those years, a lot of clients have come and gone, especially in Melbourne, in Victoria, like it's metropolitan.
Well, that's another thing to talk about too. It's like an exodus of the jewelry trade, isn't it?
Why would you, I don't know, for me, if I could get out, like some people have realised that closing down sales are far more profitable than selling the business. A lot of jewellers who've done...
Like Perry's.
Well, yeah, Michael. So he did exceptionally well, and good luck to him. But for me, that's where it should be. You know, I guess that's the cream. That's your retirement fund, right? At the end of the day, and you know, those days now, as we see labs sort of plateauing to a price now, that's where they're going to be there or thereabouts. I guess that will create a bit more stability in the trade. But we need, you know, gold is just so expensive. Even silver's ridiculous. Who would have thought silver's ridiculous?
I told you.
Anyway, silver's just ridiculous now too, right? So just the metals are so expensive, and doing business in Victoria, in Australia, is expensive.
Yeah.
Traveling around and everything.
It's expensive, yeah.
So I don't know where it's going to end up, but I would suggest they probably loved it because they had a lot of friends. There was a lot of Italians and Greeks back then.
Yeah.
I remember Nono telling me, in Frankston and Dandenong Line, there were 20 jewellers. I remember doing it with him. We used to take us a day just to do Frankston and Dandenong, right?
Wow.
There were 20 jewellers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in Mornington, there was half a dozen, you know? Yeah, so
it's changed.
It's changed dramatically now, you know? So in the city as well.
Oh, the city. Well, Melbourne is a shithole.
But in the city now, there's not many left anymore. That aren't in the buildings. They're all in the buildings. You know, there's not a lot of people on the street. So even
just can't make it.
High Point, Doncaster, Knox. Then there's not a lot of jewellers. So it's interesting to see where it's going to go. Hence the whole marketing and.
So tell me, De Beers coming into the lab jewelry market, they were dead against it.
Well, I think they've realised that natural diamonds are dead. Who sells a natural diamond? Why would you? spend on natural diamonds. So apparently, I was reading an article. I can't really remember. It's one of the odd occasions, right? One of the odd occasions that I was reading this article, right? And they were saying that the beer's revenues dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
Right? So they have to come back into it. So I think it's not a good thing for the natural diamond jewelry business, obviously, or natural diamonds. The beers decides it's not profitable to come out. So the thing is too, we've got such an oversupply with labs now. Everyone does labs, but apparently there's been a lot of factories that are closing over in India mostly as well. Just as there's a lot of gold factories closing, silver people going. So the industry is shrinking very much so, to the point where there's not a lot of jewellers. You know, Queensland, New South Wales is different, but here it's very, very small.
You just did a Matthew then. Let's go back to the beers, right?
Oh, right, sorry.
So what is it? Do you think they're just running out of options? They need revenue, so they've just decided
it's not selling. They're just not selling. You know, so they've got a revenue, they're going to turn over, it's not selling. Why would you spend
Is that how you find it going around, the diamond jewelry
natural? Yeah. I was speaking to a client yesterday, and she's like, you know, at the peak, we're doing 25, 30 rings a month, all labs. All labs. She goes, I'm not selling a natural. Why would you buy a natural? So it comes to the point where and hence we're seeing now with labs, it's going to 3, 4, 5 carats. Set in a ring, that's where people are at now, 3s, 4s and 5s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5. Because the same money, you'd get half a carat.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So probably a bit more, but you're not going to get a 4 or 5 carat. A 6 carat natural is worth what, 6, 7, 8 grand? You can get a 5 carat lab for the retail for that, you know?
Yeah,
so
yeah, and a better colour.
Yeah, much better, yeah. But that's where it's at. So De Beers had to come up with the times.
And that whole resale value debate.
I had this debate with someone recently because they started to buy some labs. It was carrying on. I said, at the end of the day, whoever comes into your shop and says, what's this going to be worth? What's my wedding engagement ring going to be worth in 4 years' time? Shouldn't you be married to that person anyway, right? Because why are you even thinking that?
Yeah.
I said, at the end of the day, no one buys natural diamond engagement rings. They'll still buy it a lot less than what they've paid for it. So I guess it's lesser of two evils. I don't really agree with that, but I've never have. We've gone through that. I've never really agreed with that sentiment of that. But I think at the end of the day, you've got to buy what people can afford.
Yeah.
You know, it's so simple. And I think one of the good things about labs is that it still is relatively good value. You know how gold jewelry is heavy chain, like 10, 20 gram chains, expensive? While lab, you still get those 4 or 5 carat in amount. They'll probably cost you $2,600, $2,800. So it's a lot of show for the dough, even though it's a lab. Do you know what I'm saying? Rather than, so hoop earrings, for example, a pair of hoop earrings will retail now $600, right?
Easy, yeah.
You can get stud earrings in lab for that.
I see.
You know what I mean? So it looks more show. Yeah.
From a consumer point of view, they're getting more show.
More show for the dough, right? Yeah. So I think that's important to really underline that, because that's where it's at. A lot of tennis bracelets and stuff that the labs cost nothing. I mean, our tennis bracelets are DVVS2s, which is probably an extra $50 to $100, depending on the rather than going with FVS2s.
But why would you go for FVS2s in a lab? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's just cheaper. 9 carat mount. The thing with 9 carat mounts too, they're not as flexible.
Yeah, so. And you get the porosity.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. But you know, at the end of the day, whatever sells, you can sell. But it's important to know the different qualities and the different aspects of having labs, the different labs. So you know, I went to a shop and he's worried about how it's grown. Is it CVD or VD or whatever they call it? No one cares. It has to be 1.45 ratio. No one cares. You know what I mean? Like, the client came in once at 1.4 ratio. I said, if she's so worried about it, get her GIA stone. You know what I mean? If she wants it to be that sort of brilliance. But I used to laud Joy as being amazing, but it's just they're just too overly priced compared to the.
Why is that?
They're just overpriced compared to the
IGI.
Yeah, I think IGI only charges like $45-50 for a cert.
How much does Joy then?
More than that, obviously. But, so I think that's where it's at. Like I'm selling that sort of product, bigger stuff now with Max.
Yeah.
So I can see why DeBeers will get into it, especially if they're selling. You know, they have to sell. You've got to sell, and that's the only thing that's selling.
Yeah, right.
So it's interesting to see. And again, who would have thought 30 years ago that now we're selling lab
I was about
jewelry.
to bring it back, all back in, you know. That's been, apart from, as you said, just there's different jewelry ranges that have gone great. And apart from the Pandora period, which really exposed the jewelry trade to not being brand orientated. And it's funny because it went all that way and now everyone's come back the other way. Because jewelry is so personal, right? And people want to, when they go into a shop, they want to have something made that's personal, right? And there's value there, right? And what Pandora did, again, women don't like sales, they like marketing. The marketing behind it, phenomenal. The whole thing about giving it a mum and daughter having it, it's an easy gift for a bloke.
Very easy gift,
But there's that whole story behind it, right? And that's the marketing aspect of it. And this is where these young jewelers, I think, have got a leg up on the more
100%. I think they give all their rings a name.
Yeah.
You know, all the rings are done in-house.
Yeah.
Which I don't see the value in, but, you know, they're in-house. They've got jewelers there and stuff. So I think it's where it's at.
Yeah. But it's interesting because it all comes back to that. But lab jewelry is different because lab jewelry was around 30 years ago, but it was so expensive no one looked at the diamonds, right? Now it's a different story. And now what it does is everyone's on the level playing field in terms they can all afford a big stone now.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know.
And I reckon there's more kickback from jewelers than consumers. I reckon the jewelers are the ones that
100%, especially the old-fashioned ones.
They're going, no.
No.
But the market dictates the demand.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to, so some of the jewelers who have just got the silver samples there and just sell off it, I don't really agree with that. I think you need to have product there as well to sell on the day.
Well, you'd have the toilet paper industry.
Yeah, but tennis bracelets, you need to have, and I think with tennis bracelets too, no one really cares about the gold content. It's just about having them secure and looking.
Well, tennis bracelet is an interesting one because if you have a wife's birthday coming up or your mistress or whatever, you're not going to wait 6 weeks. Blokes don't think 6 weeks out from the partner.
No, well, that's a good point. Yeah.
We're just like, shit, her birthday's coming up or Christmas is coming up. I haven't got time to look around.
Yeah, the tradies just want to go in, drop whatever they want to drop and go.
And go,
yeah.
That's right. And so I don't think people are realistically going to wait 6 to 12 to 8 weeks to get a lab diamond in, right?
I agree.
Especially a tennis bracelet, right? Or a tennis necklace, but maybe a bit different because that's quite extravagant. Yeah. Engagement rings are different though. And I know you're not going to like this, right? And yes, you do get anything under maybe 2 or 3 grand is an impulse buy, I want it now kind of thing. But the bigger stuff, I think people would wait.
Oh, you're a jeweler, you need to have.
I know there's window pieces.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't know. I think that's where the difference is.
Yeah, I don't agree. But if you've got a 4 carat or a 5 carat ring done, ready to go, no one's got that.
Yeah, but that's a window piece. Right?
Yeah, but no one's got that. So you can say to them, look, this is ready to go on the day, rather than we've got to get it all in. Blah blah. No one's going to have that. So I think there's gaps in the market that jewelers have to seize and take and give it a crack. There's big trends happening now too. So we've gone from rounds to ovals now to rectangulars. Rectangulars,
like emerald and
radiance. Marquise is another one, which is Terra, but they're all, and a lot of them want them the bezel set. So, which is really fat. Yeah, it's a fad, right? It will come and go. But for me, the nice, simple under bezel, simple band, nothing too fine, nothing too thick is what sells.
Yeah.
But when you see some of the stuff coming out, like I saw a bezel set, emerald cut, and then it had some stones on the side, and it's a lot. It's a lot, right?
Is that what people want now? Is it one big stone, or is it a lot with all the other stones?
One big stone.
I reckon it's gone back to one big solitaire now, yeah.
Yeah, one big stone. Yeah. Trilogies seem to sell, but one big stone.
Yeah, well, especially if you can do a 3, 4, 5 carat, why would you do anything more with it,
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting to see where it's at. But I'm still finding with studs, it's just round. Yeah, round. And the trend now with studs is uncertified.
Yeah, right.
Which I don't really like, because you might as well be selling more than not. But for the smaller stuff, absolutely. But once you get a carat each, carat 50
you want it
each,
certified.
you need certified stones, 75s each. Yeah. But that's where we're finding the trend.
I want to go back to this though. Retailers are the ones that are pushing back the most.
Oh, 100%.
Regarding
Yeah,
labor.
especially at the start, right? I remember when doing the videos here at the start. Oh, yeah.
And now?
And no, you have to be in there. You got to jump in 2 feet in.
Why do you think they were so hesitant?
Probably because they wanted to.
They don't like change?
Oh, maybe. But probably because they wanted to see how low, where it's going to go and what the plateau point is.
Yeah.
So maybe that is. But you've missed out on a lot of money beforehand. A lot of them's like, oh, we've never been asked. Yeah, if you have it and you speak to your clients about it, it will generate,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I said,
So that's the difference between waiting for demand to come to you and generating demand for you.
no, obviously. But it comes to the point where you've got to be on the trend. You can't just be the jeweler around the corner anymore. You know what I mean?
No,
you have to have online presence.
Yeah.
You have to have photos, videos.
So if you think about it, I don't want to mention names, but if you think about those 2 named retailers,
there's heaps of them, right?
Very strong online presence.
Huge online presence.
They don't sell, they market beautifully, but they don't sell, they market, right? Very different. They've got, their websites are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And a lot of lab jewelry.
Heaps.
A lot of lab jewelry.
Well, if you're going to go deep into owning a jewelry shop, the amount of money you got to outlay now, like if you think of it, it's millions.
Yeah.
Right? Millions of dollars.
To do it properly, yeah.
To do it properly. Who's going to do that? Especially these young kids. No one's got that. No one's got that money full stop, let alone a young...
And that comes back to one of the biggest changes from when you first came in here. Do you remember jewelry shops were opening all the time?
All the time. The Armos. That was a big thing. So we had the South Africans, but for us, that really was when all the Armenians came and started opening shops up left, right, center.
Because during 99-2000, GST came in, so if you opened up a shop, you got it all back. Right?
Ah, really?
So that's why 2000 we had an influx of jewelry
stores. Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So because that was huge. The Armos were opening left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Everywhere, especially in southeastern suburbs, everywhere.
So now, look, I hear what you're saying that there's not a lot of retailers, but there are, but they're just different now. They're all online. They're not carrying stock.
As a wholesaler going around trying to sell, it's
detrimental.
So you got the certain shops, and the next 10, 15 years, a lot of these shops are going to go because they're just too old. They're in their 60s now, right? So then what's going to be? What's the trade going to be then? Especially in Victoria.
Look.
And if gold keeps going up, and a lot of them have got stocks.
Well, let's talk about that.
Right.
Big change, gold going up.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
I called it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I called it. I called it about 2 years ago.
Amazing.
Right. I called the silver thing 2 or 3 years ago. Right. And I gave an outline, which is because it's macroeconomics and I love that. Right, I know, it's boring. We won't go into this video because I'll probably lose Matthew's attention span in 2 minutes. But it happened. It's come to fruition. Right?
Yeah.
Right, and now you've got gold at extreme...
7,000.
Yeah.
Remember, hit 2.8. Sorry, 8.2. 8.2.
It's huge.
Huge,
right? And that's going to have, in the interim, it's going to have an effect on demand, right?
Well, people, how can you afford a pair of hoops that retail now for $600?
Mate,
for a basic pair of hoops? Like seriously, how's it going to happen? Oh, look, we're still selling chain's still moving, and a lot of lab stuff, but the hoops.
That's a big change for 30 years ago.
Oh, huge.
I was selling $10 a gram.
Huge. Like massive. 18 carat was $20 a gram for chain. Like, that's ridiculous. No, it's the change. The changes have been dramatic. It's taken a while to get there, 30 years.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it's become elitist almost to have jewelry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you go out and want to spend $300 on a pair of on gold, it's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
And you're lucky to get silver that.
Yeah, well, that's right. So what do we do? where it's to go. So I think products that offer chauffeur dough is where it's at. Obviously, lab jewelry.
I still look.
Some people are talking about bringing labs in silver, gold plated, silver radium plated.
Is that a race to the bottom? Like, when's it? Do you remember hot steel? Not hot steel, that hot diamond, that silver jewelry with the diamonds in it?
Yeah.
That came out years ago, right? I don't know, dude.
I just think it's
more like CZ jewelry in bloody silver.
Well, there won't be certified stones and then silver. It is a definitely race to the bottom.
Yeah. So look, just to come to an end, our first
big time session. Look,
a lot of changes in 30 years.
A lot of changes in 30 years.
A lot of retail changes in 30 years. A lot of
operational changes in 30 years.
Nono, Dad, yourself and I, retailers, a lot of changes there too, man. And change isn't bad. It's just, you just got to move with the times, you know. And I think that's a big thing for everyone.
Especially in the jewelry trade, because it's such an old trade.
Yeah, well, it's specialised. Yeah. So here's to another 30, you reckon?
No. No way. No way. I'm hoping 5, let alone maybe 10.
We're just thinking 5-year increments.
That's it. Nah, that's absolutely, I'm not doing more than 10, I reckon. That'll be 40 years in the trade. Yeah, nah.
You're done.
Done.
Oh, God.
Nah, I'll be almost 60 by then. Nah, that's enough.
Fair enough. All right. Well, episode 1 down. Enjoy getting to know what it's like with you for 30 years. A lot of changes, though.
A lot of changes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
But I think we all know